I've got to go to bed, but I have an early doctor's appointment. If I don't do this now, I'll wake up to a bunch of messages asking me about it in the morning, and that'll stress me out. So, very quickly, this is real. I think we know now why the New York Times filed that motion asking for Judge Lyman to enter a final judgment on the claims against them. I think this case is why. Because what this case is essentially doing is asking a New York state court to use Judge Lyman's findings in his case that dismissed the case against the New York Times as the basis to provide the New York Times with attorney's fees under the New York anti-SLAPP statute. And I know this is, Frank, I know this is incredibly confusing since I just today was talking about how anti-SLAPP statutes are state laws and not federal laws, and they don't apply in federal court, and that is still true. And there's this concept called res judicata that if one court finds it, then you can apply it in other courts. And I'm too tired to explain it to you, but I'm pretty sure that what's happening here is that the New York Times wants there to be a final judgment in the main case as against them, so that they can go to this court and say, here's a final judgment finding there was no basis for Wayfarer's claim. Please give us our attorney's fees. Now, generally speaking, the question of whether it was, the fact that it was dismissed is a different legal question than the findings under New York's anti-SLAPP law, which if you see there in section 27, is that the lawsuit had no basis in law or fact, right? So Wayfarer is going to say, just because we got it dismissed doesn't mean it had no basis in law or fact. It just meant that maybe it had no basis in law, but it wasn't frivolous. The judge didn't find that it was frivolous. And the New York Times is going to say it doesn't fucking matter because the judge found that your case couldn't continue at the very first opportunity that he had. And we're going to take that ruling and we're going to have this judge give us attorney's fees based on that ruling. And that in and of itself is now a fully complicated issue that I'm too tired to think about. But I think that this is why they asked for the judgment. Because if you look, I cut it off kind of, but if you look down at paragraph 31, this is the only cause of action in the complaint, and the entire thing is based on the district court's opinion that Wayfarer's suit against the New York Times could not go forward. So I think they need a final order from Judge Lyman saying that so if they want to have another court enforce it, because it's not, I can't believe I'm talking about the law of the case and res judicata here, but long story short, they need Judge Lyman to make that decision final so that they can use it here, I think. So, one mystery solved, and now another fucking case. Oh my good God, I'm gonna have to take a vacation from my job. Good night.